My precious child, pause right here and give me this moment. I am reaching for you now, not with condemnation but with a love so fierce it refuses to let you walk into what is coming unprepared. The noise around you is loud, the distractions are many, and the enemy knows that if he can keep you moving, keep you scrolling, keep you just busy enough, you will miss what I am about to tell you. But you stopped. Something in your spirit recognized my voice even before your mind caught up. That is no accident. You were meant to be here right now in this exact second, because what I am about to reveal will shift everything. I see you, beloved. I see the weight you carry even when you smile. I see the questions you ask in the quiet moments when no one else is watching. I see the weariness that has settled into your bones, the kind that sleep does not fix. You have been strong for so long, holding things together, pushing through, telling yourself you are fine. But I know better. I know the cost of that strength. I know what it takes for you to get up each morning and face what feels like the same battles wearing different faces. I am not here to add to your burden. I am here to lighten it. But first you must understand what has been happening in the unseen. There is an adversary, and he has been closer than you think, not in the way you might imagine, not with dramatic announcements or obvious attacks. His strategy is far more subtle, far more patient. He has been observing you, studying your patterns, your breaking points, your ways of coping. He knows which wounds still bleed and which lies you are most likely to believe. He has mapped your routines, cataloged your triggers, and waited for the moments when your defenses are low. This is not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Awareness is the first step to freedom. If you are still with me, type Amen so I know you are hearing this with your whole heart. Listen closely now, because this matters more than you realize. He watched when you were alone and thought no one saw. He took notes when you struggled and assumed you were failing. He studied the times you tried to pray but the words felt empty, the moments you reached for comfort in things that left you feeling more hollow. He did not need to force you into darkness. He simply needed you to believe you were already disqualified, already too far gone, already beyond reach. That belief is the trap. The moment you agree with the lie that you are unreachable, you stop reaching back, and that is exactly where he wants you, isolated, silent, convinced that this version of you is all you will ever be. But here is what he did not count on. Here is what his observations missed. He underestimated my love for you. He thought if he studied you long enough, plotted carefully enough, he could map a way to your destruction. But what he saw as weakness, I saw as resilience. What he labeled as failure, I called process. What he counted as evidence against you, I covered with grace. Every time you stumbled and got back up, every time you whispered a desperate prayer in the middle of the night, every time you chose to keep going even when giving up felt easier, you were not just surviving, you were defying his predictions. You were proving that observation does not equal control. I need you to understand something that will change how you see your story. There were moments when the pressure was unbearable, when the darkness pressed in so close you could barely breathe, when you stood at the edge of decisions that could have destroyed you. You remember those nights, the ones where you felt completely alone, where the weight of your choices felt crushing, where you wondered if anyone would even notice if you just disappeared. I was there. You did not fall because I caught you. You did not break because I held you together. The moments you thought you survived by sheer willpower were actually moments where my hand was under you. My presence was around you. My voice was whispering truths you could not yet hear clearly, but your spirit received anyway. Every door that closed when you were desperate to walk through it, every opportunity that fell apart at the last second, every relationship that ended abruptly without the closure you wanted. I see now how much that hurt. I see how you questioned my goodness in those moments. But beloved, many of those were not denials. They were redirections. They were me stepping between you and devastation you could not see coming. He saw those openings too. He positioned himself to exploit your vulnerability the moment you walked through. But I shut the door first, not to withhold blessing but to preserve your future. Like and share this if you have ever felt God redirect you away from something you wanted, only to realize later it would have destroyed you. Now let me speak to the traps you almost stepped into. The ones so quiet you barely noticed them forming. Bitterness was circling you, waiting for the right wound to attach itself to. It whispered that you had every right to be angry, every reason to hold grudges, every justification to let resentment build its walls. You felt it growing, that hard edge in your heart, that reflexive distrust, that readiness to assume the worst. Bitterness promised you protection, told you that if you hardened yourself, people could not hurt you anymore. But I saw where that path led. I saw bitterness turning you into someone you would not recognize. Someone who looked like you but had lost the softness, the hope, the ability to receive love. I intervened. I allowed circumstances that forced you to choose. I brought people into your path who loved you despite your walls. I gave you moments of unexpected kindness that cracked the armor you were building. Then there was distraction, the trap that does not look like a trap at all. It came disguised as relief, as entertainment, as harmless escape. It told you that you deserved to unwind, to disconnect, to numb out for a while. And you did deserve rest. But distraction was not offering rest. It was offering amnesia. It wanted you so absorbed in the temporary that you forgot the eternal. So busy filling every moment with noise that you could not hear my voice. So focused on scrolling, consuming, watching, anything to avoid stillness, that you lost touch with your own heart. I watched you become restless in silence, uncomfortable with your own thoughts, afraid of what you might feel if you stopped moving. I allowed that restlessness to grow uncomfortable enough that you started asking why. Why could you not sit still anymore? Why did quiet feel so loud? That discomfort was my mercy, not my punishment. Compromise crept in next, subtle and patient. It did not ask you to abandon your convictions overnight. It simply suggested you adjust them slightly, bend them just enough to make life easier, to fit in better, to stop feeling like the odd one out. It told you that gray areas were sophisticated, that rigid boundaries were outdated, that you could honor me and still participate in what everyone else was doing. You felt the tension. You felt your spirit resist even as your mind rationalized. I saw you wrestling, trying to find the line between legalism and license, between judgment and discernment. And I honored that wrestling. I did not condemn you for the questions, but I also did not let you settle into comfort with what I asked you to avoid. I kept the conviction alive even when you tried to silence it. Then came the lie of insignificance. The whisper that your choices do not really matter, that you are too small to make a difference, that your struggles and victories are invisible and irrelevant. This lie is deadly because it makes you careless. If nothing you do matters, why try? Why resist? Why choose the harder path when the easier one leads to the same place? I need you to reject that lie with everything in you. You are not insignificant. Your choices echo in ways you cannot see. Your faithfulness in hidden places strengthens the foundations of what I am building. Your perseverance in obscurity is preparing you for visibility you are not yet ready for. Every time you chose obedience when no one was watching, every time you spoke truth when it cost you something, every time you turned away from temptation when you could have easily given in, those moments mattered. They are written in a book you have not read yet, recorded in a place that time does not touch. If God has ever shown you that you matter more than you believed, comment I am significant in Christ so others can be reminded of this truth. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you, because it is wildly different from what you see when you look at yourself. You see mistakes. I see growth. You see wasted years. I see necessary preparation. You see weaknesses. I see places where my strength is about to show up in ways that will astound you. You see what you are not. I see what you are becoming. The enemy counted on you adopting his view of your life. He needed you to agree that you were damaged goods, second choice, barely hanging on because if you believed that, you would live small. You would settle for less. You would stop dreaming, stop asking, stop expecting anything beyond survival. But I am interrupting that narrative right now. You are not who the adversary says you are. You are not defined by what you did when you were desperate, hurting, or confused. You are not limited by the mistakes that keep you up at night. I have already paid for those. They are covered, forgiven, removed as far as the east is from the west. What is not covered is your agreement with shame. Shame wants you to keep punishing yourself for what I have already forgiven. It wants you to earn what I have already given. It wants you to prove what I have already declared. You do not need to prove your worth to me. You need to accept it. I want to address something you carry that you think you have hidden. That secret fear that you are fundamentally broken. That something in you is wrong at a level you cannot fix. That everyone else got the manual for how to be human and you missed it. That feeling of being on the outside even when you are in the room. I see it. I see how hard you work to appear whole while feeling shattered inside. I see the exhaustion of maintaining the image. Here is what I need you to know. You are not broken beyond repair. You are under construction. What feels like chaos is actually renovation. I am rebuilding you from the inside out, and construction zones always look messy before they look beautiful. You are not falling apart. You are being carefully, intentionally taken apart so I can put you back together stronger. The enemy wanted you to interpret the deconstruction as destruction. He wanted you to panic, to believe that the shaking meant collapse. But I shake what can be shaken so that what cannot be shaken remains. I am removing what was never meant to be there. The false identities you built to protect yourself. The coping mechanisms that worked once but now trap you. The beliefs about yourself and about me that were rooted in pain, not truth. This process is uncomfortable, yes, but it is not punishment. It is purification. I need to talk to you about the future because the enemy has been whispering lies about that too. He told you that your best days are behind you, that you missed your chance, that the mistakes of your past have disqualified you from the fullness of your future. He painted a picture of limitation, of lowered expectations, of settling for crumbs when you were meant for feasts. Do not believe him. Your future is not a diminished version of what could have been. It is the fullness of what I always intended, refined by fire, deepened by struggle, made more beautiful by the journey. I know you have looked at your age, your circumstances, your resources, your history, and concluded that certain doors are now closed. I know you have calculated the time you think you lost, and decided it is too late for specific dreams. I know you have compared your journey to others and felt like you are permanently behind. But my child, my timeline is not your timeline. My measurements are not your measurements. What looks like delay to you has been development to me. What felt like detours were actually divine appointments. What seemed like setbacks were actually setups. I have been working even when you could not see it, especially when you could not see it. There are doors ahead of you that you cannot see yet. Relationships that will restore what was stolen. Opportunities that will validate what you sacrificed. Moments of joy so pure they will make the years of tears worth it. Connections that will feel like coming home, healing that will happen so naturally you will barely notice the transition from broken to whole. Breakthrough in areas where you stopped even praying because you prayed so long without seeing change. I have not forgotten a single prayer you whispered in desperation. Not one. They are all accounted for. They are all being answered, some immediately, some gradually, some suddenly after years of waiting, but none ignored, none dismissed, none lost. I am not asking you to pretend the pain did not happen. I am promising you that it will not have the last word. Redemption is my specialty, taking what was meant to destroy you and turning it into the very thing that defines your purpose. That is what I do. The enemy studied your wounds to exploit them. I study your wounds to heal them, and then use your scars as proof of my power. What broke you will become the very thing that qualifies you to help others. What isolated you will connect you to people who need someone who understands. What silenced you will become the voice that speaks hope into darkness. You are going to look back one day and be stunned by how I connected the dots. How the hard season you are in right now positioned you for the assignment you could not have handled before. How the people you lost made space for the people you needed. How the dreams that died were actually seeds that had to be buried to produce something far greater. You will see my hand in places you accused me of being absent. You will recognize my protection in moments you felt exposed. You will understand that I was never late, never early, always exactly on time. Share this message if you believe God can redeem every broken piece of your story. Now I want to address what is happening right now, in this very moment as you listen. There is a shift taking place. The more you hear truth, the less power lies have over you. The more you understand that you were protected even when you felt abandoned, the harder it becomes to believe you were ever truly alone. The enemy is losing ground, not because of your strength, though you are stronger than you think, but because truth is being spoken into places where lies took root. Light is entering rooms that have been dark for too long. You are beginning to see, and once you see, you cannot unsee. This is why he wanted you to scroll past this. This is why distraction felt so compelling a few minutes ago. This is why something in you hesitated to keep listening. He knew what I was about to reveal. He knew that clarity is his enemy. As long as you were confused, he had access. As long as you believed his version of your story, he had influence. But truth is dismantling the framework he built. Every lie you recognize and reject weakens his position. Every truth you embrace strengthens yours. I want you to do something right now. I want you to speak this out loud, even if your voice shakes, even if you are alone, even if it feels strange. Say, I am not who fear says I am. I am not who shame says I am. I am not who failure says I am. I am who God says I am, chosen, loved, protected, called, equipped, and my future is secure because my Father has already gone before me. Say it. Let your ears hear your voice declare what your heart is learning to believe. Words have power. And when your voice agrees with my voice, things shift in realms you cannot see. Comment these words below if you just declared them, because your obedience will encourage someone else to do the same. Beloved, I need you to grasp this. The adversary does not waste time on what has no value. He does not strategize against what carries no threat. The fact that you were targeted tells you something critical about your purpose. You carry something he fears. A light that will expose darkness. A voice that will speak truth. A story that will set captives free. An influence that will shift atmospheres. He saw it before you did. That is why he moved so aggressively to silence, shame, and sideline you. But every attack that did not destroy you made you stronger. Every trap you walked past, even when you did not know it was there, built your discernment. Every lie you eventually recognized sharpened your ability to detect deception. You are not the same person you were when this battle started. You have been trained through fire. You have learned what it means to stand when everything in you wants to run. You have discovered that my grace really is sufficient, that my strength really does show up in weakness, that my promises really do hold even when circumstances seem to contradict them. The enemy thought the pressure would break you. Instead, it forged you into someone unshakable. That was never his plan. That was always mine. I am about to release you into what comes next. But before I do, I need to tell you what to expect. The clarity you are gaining will be tested. Situations will arise that tempt you to doubt what you just learned. Feelings will surface that contradict the truth you are standing on. Old patterns will try to reassert themselves. This is normal. This is not you failing. This is the process of transformation. You do not unlearn lies overnight. You do not rewire thinking patterns in a single moment. You do it day by day, choice by choice, moment by moment. And I will be with you in every single one of those choices. When the lie comes back, and it will, you now have something you did not have before. You have awareness. You know where it came from. You recognize its voice. And you have my truth to speak against it. You are not defenseless. You are not powerless. You are equipped. And every time you choose truth over the lie, you get stronger. Every time you reject the old narrative and embrace the new one, it becomes easier. This is how you win. Not in one dramatic moment, but in 1,000 small decisions to believe me over the enemy. I also need you to know that you are not alone in this. I am placing people in your path who will reflect my truth back to you when you forget it. Voices that will speak life when you are tempted to rehearse death. Relationships that will remind you who you are when the world tries to tell you who you are not. Do not isolate. Do not withdraw. The enemy wants you alone because alone you are easier to deceive. But in community, surrounded by those who know me and know you, lies lose their power. Let people in. Let them see the real you, the struggling you, the still figuring it out you. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage. And it creates space for connection that isolation can never provide. As we close this moment, I want you to feel the weight of what just happened. You did not stumble onto this message. You were led here. You did not listen by chance. You were kept here by my hand. Something shifted while you were present. Chains loosened, lies weakened, truth planted itself deeper. You may not feel dramatically different right now, and that is okay. Transformation is often quiet. But trust me when I tell you, you are not leaving this moment the same way you entered it. You have been marked, shifted, realigned. The trajectory of your life just changed, even if you cannot see it yet. Before you go, I need you to do two things. First, if this message resonated with something deep in your spirit, I want you to type "Jesus is my defender" in the comments. Let that declaration be a stake in the ground. Let it be a reminder to yourself and a testimony to others that you are not fighting this battle alone. Second, share this with someone who needs to hear it. You know who they are. The person who has been on your heart. The one who is struggling in silence. The one the enemy has been targeting. Send this to them. Your obedience could be the very thing that saves their life. I love you, my child. More than you know, more than words can express. And I am not done with you. Not even close. What you have been through was not the end of your story. It was the setup for your comeback. Stay close to me. Keep listening for my voice. Keep choosing truth over lies. Keep walking forward even when the path is unclear. I am with you. I have always been with you, and I will never ever let you go.